Hey, what's good? It's Heavenly Wave. Society. Now pulling out to your party, or you keep knocking on my door, asking for more, and I'm here for fucking more, man. I'm in nature once again, and we're just chilling, We're just chilling. Brought my dog out. It's just chilling over there. I think I'm gonna sit with him. I think it's better if I'm closer to him, or if I'm walking. I don't know. I was called to speak on feminine and masculine counterparts in today's day. Well, it's been happening since the dawn of time, since the dawn of existence. And so people really need to understand their masculine and feminine counterparts. Masculine and feminine counterparts live within all of us. All right, you can't avoid that. Now, what your conscious mind will be aware of is how to protect the subconscious, or what the subconscious is aware of is how to protect the conscious. All right, see how they work together to maintain equilibrium. All right, so the subconscious, which is related to the moon, is your feminine aspect. All right, so this is 95 or 90%, between 90 to 95% of what you retain and what is actually presented in your day-to-day life, what you manifest. And it's highly emotional. So all the memories that you remember, all the feelings that you know, are stored in your subconscious, in your feminine aspect. And you're navigating your reality through those feelings, through those energies. And most of the things that you retain are based off of heightened extremities of what your avatar has gone through, right? So you're not going to remember the grape code at No Frills is like 4750. Morning. Cute dogs. Yeah. Thank you. Because unless that's like a significant thing in your life, it's just like a minor, like momentarily thing to input in a system. Like it's not navigated through like heightened emotion compared to like relationships, commitment, competition, survival, whatever the case is, love, fighting. Okay, stay with me. Now, we dove into the subconscious, right, which controls 90 to 95% of your reality. Tremendous. And that is your feminine aspect, related to the moon, related to the night, related to creativity, arts, performance, mothership, motherhood, childhood, nurturing, charismatic, empathetic. All right? Now, your masculine side, see how I'm switching over? Which the masculine side controls the left side of your body. The masculine side is very physical. It's the sun. All right? It's during the day. And what he is responsible, you see how I'm putting a lot of dominance on the masculine? You see it's coming out. Boom, boom. I'm getting very literal so you get it in your thick skull. I don't know. I don't care how many times I'm going to have to post something like this, but It's very important. It's very important. It's very apparent in our day-to-day being, okay? You want to move smart, not hard. You want to move smart, not hard. You don't need to do the tough guy, tough girl, poor me, poor girl, poor man rituals anymore, because you will just move smart accordingly to abundance. Let's go. See how that masculine's coming out? Okay. But let's keep it straight. The masculine side controls the left side of your hemisphere, which is your brain, but the left side of your physical body. All right? And what he's responsible over is getting it done, being a provider for yourself, just getting it, just do it, like Nike, you know, just doing it. He's gonna be the forefront. He's your conscious realm, okay? So like that's your frontal lobe, and he's responsible of keeping everything in check, organized, making sure all your ducks are in a row, you know, lined up in a row. And you have all your receipts for all your actions, all the things that you want to be taking place. You back it up. You're backing up your chess pieces, right? That's what he's responsible over, because he needs to do that to protect the divine feminine, your feminine, the moon. Because the moon and the feminine trait within yourself, your feminine aspect, is responsible for recovery, restoration, like restoring what the masculine has done to protect the feminine. You see how they work together, yin and yang? They just work together like this, just like in a constant cycle. Now, you kind of get the gist of the masculine, right? I was very literal. And that's what the masculine is for, is just getting it done. Now, in this day and age, because of scrolling, because of easy content, hypersexuality, promiscuity, like all of that is just so accessible, right? That has made the masculine, it's also economic factors too. It's not entirely like the masculine, but what's being taken place is the tables are turning, and the masculine are in a stage of just like receiving. They're not really providing like they used to. Men would go like either their 9 to 5 or their construction job or a trades job, whatever the job was, or a white collar job, and they had like a salary, they had paychecks, okay? They run their own business. And that was sufficient enough for a family, either a family of 4, a family of 3, like family of 5, family of 6, whatever the case is. And if he really had it together, you know what I mean? Like the optimal man, providing and also allowing his feminine counterpart, like his wife or his girlfriend or his partner, common law, however you want to like title the divine feminine, he protects her by him providing, but he allows her to do the homemaking of the home, you know, taking care of the kids, taking care of the home, decorating the home. You know, if you go to men's places and it's just like empty, there's just like a couch, like a futon and a TV and some plastic cups, and like that's a bachelor. That's not like, he's not a man, okay? Like he's kind of like living in a cave, because he hasn't been introduced to a divine feminine counterpart, which brings restoration into his life, where he goes into his home. Even though the man doesn't really care about that, I understand that, but what the feminine does is make it inviting, make it attractive, make it appealing, so neighbors can come in, make him more attractive, make him more welcoming, committed to himself even, you know, because he's been restored. There's recovery, there's rest involved. So I'm going back to like The Bachelor, when the Bachelor, you know, just simple, like white walls. I'm not against it, I'm just saying, I'm being very blunt because this is my masculine coming out. When it's not decorated, you can tell there's no feminine attributes. Maybe he lives dirty. He's just living day by day. Like he's building up his masculine points. Like he's building up the stats for his masculine counterpart. He's not ready for the feminine counterpart. It's not happening. It could happen, but it's not gonna last. What happens if that masculine actually wants to bring a divine feminine counterpart? He has to already be styling. He has to already be giving. You see the flow? He has to already be a family man, like giving back to his mom, giving back to his dad, if you know what I mean, giving back to his sister, his uncle, nephew, whatever the scenario is. He has to be giving back. He has to be very involved, because this is where you're tapping into your feminine counterpart. You're giving. Okay, so I'm intersecting a lot here, but I'm bringing in practical usages because this is you. This is your neighbor. This is someone that you don't. This is you. This is all of us. Okay, so I have to bring it out because that's just what I do. All right. Another thing that happens, right, is, let's say he's still in his bachelor caveman era, and what he thinks is like, okay, I just have to work. I just have to be a provider. So then he's still out of balance. You see what I mean? Like he's wondering, like, why is he not attracting women? Why is he not attracting what he needs to be attracting, right? And it's because he's avoiding his initiation. I'm gonna say that again. Women and men both have initiations that need to be taking place. And if you avoid them because you can't see what they actually are for what they are to help you be a better you, you're just prolonging attraction. So let me get back into the masculine, right? So when he has like an initiation, whether that be like, okay, he has a job, he's providing, he has rent, okay? That's not it. Like that's the bare minimum, family, okay? That's the bare minimum. You can't just be scratching the bare minimum. You have way too much information, all right? So don't just come out here and be like, I pay rent, okay? So does 8 billion of us pay rent. What are you adding to your community, okay? What are you adding to yourself after you pay rent? Because you got 24 hours in the day. You have 365 days in the year. Tell me, what are you doing after you're done work? You're just scratching your balls? You're just eating? Like, what are you doing? What are you actually implementing that's improving humanity? Is the utmost biggest picture. Okay? So again, this is my masculine side coming out, but then the feminine is just like, the feminine side is just like, yes, go off. But yeah, you gotta be styling, okay? When a guy looks good, okay, when a guy dresses nice, he's in tune with attraction. He's in tune with magnetism. He knows how to bring things to him. Like wearing a suit, collar shirt, clean shoes. His internal compass is correct. Now that's not the whole picture, okay? Okay, we got to use our discernment. If his skin is kept good, he's eating well, You got to look at these details. You got to look at these details. Fellas, ladies, everyone, look at these details. Everyone, look at their details. Details are the utmost information. It's not about what they do, it's how they do it. Okay? So, you got that. But even how they talk about themselves, oof. There's just so much to fathom of an energy. But yeah, you kind of get the idea of the masculine and what they got to be doing, all right? Most of the people watching my videos are masculine. And what's happening is you're getting those parasites, whether it's through the weed, whether it's through your addictions, whatever it is, unemployment, however they want to do mind control or whatever, scrolling, however it is, you got to be your own boss. You got to be your own boss, okay? Unless you want to be gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. Nothing wrong. I'm just saying, you want to actually own what you are moving with. You want to own your creations. You want to own your mind. You want to govern your own mind. You got to be moving with intention, okay? That means being balanced. That means doing the work, okay? It's not just going to work. It's not just going to work for a boss or even your... I think the best thing is like having your own business, being an entrepreneur. Like that goes far, because you're seeing things from a big perspective. Like you're seeing all of your capabilities on how you can expand on them. Okay, you're not just limited to a paycheck and like, okay, I got to do this so I can like get good at it. You know what I mean? You're seeing all of the doors as opportunity. Anyways, this is a long video for me. All right, you kind of get the idea of the masculine. Feel free to let me know what you think, but I'm going to talk about the feminine, okay? Now, the same thing with the masculine. If the feminine feels like, here, let me hold it on my, okay? If the feminine is the right side, right? It's the moon, it's restoration, it's your subconscious. If she feels like your feminine aspect within you, she feels like she's not being taken care of, all right, what happens is she becomes more masculine. She provides, but she does it in an emotional way. I experienced this already. When I was working, when I wasn't using my wisdom to my expansiveness, when I was still like asleep and just a drone in a way, respectfully, I was emotional in every scenario I was in because I was a feminine, feeling like I had to provide and like work hard, which is not correct, okay? And for the feminine can work, but she needs to be balanced. She needs to be protected while she's working. She needs to be protecting herself while she's working. Boom. You'll learn this through elders. Like, elders are constantly protecting themselves in the workplace. You'll see it. But anyways, I don't want to go into too many tangents. The divine feminine, like your feminine aspect, she's all about restoration. Okay? Like feminines, if they're working just as hard as guys, like stressing just as guys or whatever it is, it's not proper. It's not proper because you're an emotional creature. Now I'm talking about like women who watch my stuff. Is like, you're emotional. If you are dealing with stress, even just an ounce of stress, you're not taking it the same way as a man. You're a hyper energetic being than a man, right? So you're gonna think more deeply about that. And then you're gonna see how you can problem solve with that information. and that feeling. What a man does is they experience it, they experience the stress, but then they just like keep on pushing. They're like, oh, this is what I have to do. They're not thinking emotionally about it. Maybe these days they are because they have the time. But with women, no, you don't. Like, you're gonna try to figure out how you can do this because it's a survival mechanism. Oh, if I don't have a man, like, I need to take care of myself. I have to boss up. I have to like be emotional. I have to stand up for myself. But that's a lot to carry. Whether you can see that physically or not, or whether you can feel that or not, it's a lot to carry. Don't deny it. Don't try to play tough girl and tough boy. It doesn't last. Trust me. Trust me. You're gonna crash out, and you're not gonna feel good about it, and you're gonna keep repeating those cycles of crashing out until you can balance and restore your equilibrium. Okay, it's all about balance. It's all about balance. So this also goes back to like your mother and father aspects, like your caregivers. Like what was that like, right? When you were a child, were they around? Who was a heavy influence, right? From ages 0 to, let's say, like preteen ages, like 0 to 12, the mother is a huge figure into the upbringing of a child, right? Being a nurturer, taking care of them, making them food. And then the father is like the behind the scenes, like paying for that stuff and paying for that equilibrium. All right, you see how they work together? And in the later years, like when the child, like you need both, right? But when the child like becomes more of an adult and wants to build a craft, wants to build ownership, that's when the masculine comes in. That's when the masculine's like, you gotta have perseverance. You gotta toughen up. You gotta have thicker skin. You gotta transmute your energies better. They won't say it exactly like that, but they'll be like, okay, if someone's bullying you, how do you convert that into love? How do you convert that into comedy? How do you make light of it? Because your job is to sustain yourself in whatever environment you're in. Regardless, if it's a job and you think you're undergoing stress, you need to figure out how to lighten your load as much as possible. It's an energy. It's energy transfer. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. You already know. Physics. So you got to figure out a way to make things hell a lot easier, regardless. And don't get emotionally attached to other people's feelings and stuff like that. Their feelings are your feelings. If you're not correct, if you're not balanced, they're not going to be balanced. But it starts with you. You need to be the change that you want to see in the world. It starts with you. So that's where, like, for me, when growing up, I would say like masculine was a heavy aspect in my life, like construction, making food. I guess that's a feminine thing, but like the pressure, feeling the intensities, like doing things independently, like that was a very masculine thing I undergone as a kid. And I always knew that I had the correct internal compass, so I just rolled with it. But yeah, it's a play, it's a dance. So this video is very long right now. And I gotta go, okay? So it's Heavenly Wave Shayati. Yeah, it's Heavenly Wave. You already know. This is my first lecture on masculine and feminine counterparts. You already know.